Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video and or stream and or wherever you're watching this. My name is David West, and this is your weekly stand-up for hashtag Vagabond Game for Sprint Zero, week 2 of 3. I'm a day late already, and you could probably tell things are a little bit crazy. It's not my regular setup, but that doesn't mean I don't owe you a stand-up. So what do I mean by weekly stand-up? It's a great question. So in our weekly Scrum or weekly stand-up, but weekly Scrum, try to answer 3 questions. It's all about making myself accountable to my audience and to the players and to anyone who wants to be involved, aka the stakeholders. And I answered 3 questions. What did I do last week that helped the development team? That's me, meet the sprint goal. What will I do next week to help the development team meet the sprint goal? And do I see any impediments or risks that will prevent me or the development team from meeting the sprint goal? At the end of the day, just so you know, the development team, this is pulled right off scrum.org's playbook. The development team is just me. So maybe one day that'll change, but it's all about asking what I accomplished, what I'm planning on doing, and do I see anything coming up that could actually slow me down. So just a real quick recap, we're on Sprint Zero, and the goal for this is just documentation of the vision. And that was kind of the plan. So it's all about documentation, focusing in on what I'm trying to build, because I get caught up in building the whole thing. And I've been building this thing off and on for the last year, live on stream, whatever. And I get lost in the implementation, but meanwhile, I don't really know what I'm trying to get to. So I really wanted to take it back, focus on the design, focus on the vision I have for this game. In terms of work that we picked out for this sprint, do the game design document 1-pager in terms of a wiki. We want to do the storyboards for the dialogue gameplay, storyboards for the survival system or the survival gameplay, and then outline the first purpose, which is going to be the musician. So those are the 4 things that we prioritized. Let's see how we're doing. So what did I get done last week? Well, this last week I managed to get the wiki site set up, so I was hitting some issues with that the week previous, and I got that 1-pager completed. So I did it in actually a OneNote notebook, and if you join the Discord, I was talking to Stilterfish about this. We're going back and forth, and decided that this is not a dev-only resource, and I wanted to put it in something that wasn't a GitHub wiki or a dev-centric tool. I wanted to be accessible to people that were not developers. It's about the design, it's about the players, it's about the stakeholders. It's not about just devs. And so I decided to put it in OneNote. It's not shared or anything like that. It's really just to make it accessible for me. But the idea is if I want to share it, I can. With a developer resource, that's not as easy as you think. So did manage to get that 1-pager done and started with the OneNote. In terms of storyboards for the dialogue, managed to migrate the state diagram. So I wrote a whole state diagram last week that kind of surprised me that it got done. I migrated it all into the OneNote using draw.io. I clarified a few of the transitions, so actually redrawing it over yet again, clarified some of the details. My previous diagrams and documentation were actually a little bit wrong. And that means the scope is clear. Now I just need to actually do the storyboards themselves and actually do this for all the different states and kind of map all this stuff out. So it's coming along nicely, just taking a lot longer than I wanted to. So what am I doing for next week? Straight up, I want to do the storyboards. I really want to focus on that. I have a good start on them from before Sprint Zero, but I've also got a good idea of what I'm doing now with that with the state diagram for that gameplay. So now that I understand that part of it, I want to see where we're going. And I want to actually literally see it. So I want to be able to share that with people and kind of like play around with it a little bit before I actually start coding the whole thing. But that will turn into my requirements. Also, I want to outline the beats of the musician purpose. So although this is a lower priority item, we'll get into this in the risks impediment section, but I do want to outline some of the beats and the kind of overall flow of what a job purpose is, or a quest purpose, you want to call it that. I want to kind of outline those beats so I can kind of get some feedback on it from stakeholders like you and kind of start working towards that in terms of game design. In terms of risks and impediments, the risks are really all lying on the amount of time I have left. That state diagram is super useful for dialogue, but it was also very time consuming. It may have, maybe I underestimated the amount of work those storyboards were going to take. And ultimately, I want to make sure that those get done properly. And so for that reason, survival mode diagrams or state diagrams, storyboards might get pulled out of the sprint just because they might not get done. We're going to see if I can squeeze something in and get them started because I want to get some ideas out in my head. But it is one of those things that's starting to become a thing. I also wrote down here, it needs more time to flesh them out. I think I do, but I think when I do the storyboards for the dialogue gameplay, I'm actually starting to see what sort of gameplay I need to complement that already. Like I have examples in my head of different types of games that play with different systems. So in terms of impediments, I don't really have any. I have some busy work stuff going on right now, but it's nothing that can't be managed. I have a little bit of extra free time right now. So as long as I don't mess it up too badly, I should be able to get a good amount of work done. But things already came up tonight, so. But yeah, managed. I don't think there's any serious impediments that should block me this week. And that's the end of it. This is a really small, straightforward thing that we do, but I want to thank you for watching it. And if you're interested in continuing on, you can follow along here at vagabondgame.com. These are the different social media sites that I'm going to. So Mixer and Twitch, I'm streaming a lot less because I'm focusing a lot more on game dev. But if you head over to YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those different places, you can find what you need there. And yeah, that you can find me there, and that's where the updates are going to go, including this one. And that should cover it. So if you're interested in joining the Discord, feel free. That's not linked here. I'm trying to get people to reach out to me, so please throw me a tweet saying you want to know that, or if you're in the chat, just do !Discord, and you should get a whisper with a URL invite, and feel free to join up. And that's about it for now. So I will see you next Monday at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. And if you could do me a favor and have yourselves a pleasant day and/or evening, I would really appreciate it. Thanks, and we'll talk to you then.